A few gaming communities have reputations for being absolute cesspools these days. The kind of communities where you might ask an honest question and promptly be told to get f***ed, scrub. Nobody wants that, least of all the people who make money out of these games.
Not too long ago, Blizzard said it was working on a new punishment system to implement in its big multiplayer shooter phenomenon, Overwatch. The company wants to clean up the community in that game, which is infamous for their use of trash talk, griefing, and just general hostility. For example, there was the high-profile case of a guy who threatened to throw the match he was in if all his teammates failed to pay him $10. And who can forget the professional Overwatch player who was fired for screaming the N-word 60 times in a row. In response to situations like those, Blizzard has this week unveiled details for its new punishment system. Blizzard community manager Lylera made a post on the Overwatch forums to highlight some of the changes which go into effect immediately. She wrote, "Play nice, play fair is one of Blizzard's core values. It's something we took to heart in creating Overwatch and remains a priority as we continue to support the game and our players. Effective immediately, we will be issuing increased penalties to players in response to verified reports of bad behavior. We know that making Overwatch a truly welcoming environment is an ongoing process, and this is only the first step."
As part of the changes, people who abuse chat, spam, intentionally go AFK, and grief other players will be subject to increased penalties. Players caught engaging in these activities will be silenced, suspended, or even banned from the game as a result. Blizzard will also implement scaling competitive season bans and a notification system which lets players know when someone they've reported has actually been banned. Blizzard is also looking to implement this system on the PS4 and Xbox One versions of Overwatch, which currently lacks any way to report abusive players. Lylera warned that over the next several months more changes will be made based on player feedback, which will allow them to penalise players who abuse the in-game reporting feature. She ended the post saying, "Thank you for your vigilance, passion and commitment to building a welcoming and enjoyable community and helping us make Overwatch the best game it can be."
Yeah, so bad communities is going to be bad for the image of any game, isn't it? So it's understandable why they'd want to clear it up. Why would they want people to be afraid of playing their game because of the community that's in there? That's not good for them at all.
Yeah, I mean, it puts a lot of people off playing, surely. If you think about playing a game and they're getting abused by like some 13-year-old kid who's angry at the fact that he's getting owned by some noob or some shit like that. You don't want that, like, after a hard day's work. You're going home, you just want to chill out, you know, have a game, enjoy yourself, and you get threatened by some 13-year-old kid.
It's always like an individual as well. It's always like a solo thing. It's never like a group of friends who are like collectively being dicks, because when you're with people that you know, you don't behave like a moron. But when you don't know anyone who's in the lobby, you're never going to encounter them ever again. You're on the defensive immediately. So it's this cycle of one person being a knob, and then that makes everyone else around them be a knob, and then
everyone thinks that's okay, accepted behaviour. Then that's what people will do. Like, especially if you're a kid and you're impressionable, and you think, oh, everyone's doing this. This is the way we behave, isn't it?
I need to be angry and aggressive, otherwise I'm not being awesome. I don't know what's going through their minds like when they're doing it. But
listen, we all get frustrated when we're playing games. It's just part and parcel of playing a game. You get owned sometimes. You just get over it. Like, grow up, be a man about it. Just accept it. Good game, dude. You know, don't like, I'm gonna f your mother or whatever. You know,
it's always I'm gonna fuck your mother. They're getting more like Nazi-ish and stuff these days as well. There's a lot of racist slurs and stuff getting thrown around, but that's just because they're trying to find new ways of being upsetting and upsetting people. So your mother thing, that's quite an old one. That's like got a long storied history of your mum jokes. Yeah, but just try to get like more. You know, what else can I say that'll just fucking upset everyone?
It's all about dads in 2017.
So it's all about dad fucking now. Dad banging is in.
Where did that go? It must be said that Overwatch have had this reporting feature on the PC for a while, and they haven't had anything of the sort on consoles. So what they said is that they are improving it for the PC so people can report easily, and they do say if you see anyone engaging in these antisocial behaviours, just report them, and you know, they will be dealt with accordingly. And they're also in very near future going to bring this over to consoles as well. So hopefully they can just put an end to it.
But it's not just Blizzard who's looking for ways to make their communities better. The recent fiasco with Twitch streamer Dr. Disrespect being banned from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds created a bit of a debate around how exactly you should control a game's community. With Dr. Disrespect, he was playing a character when he jokingly team killed another player, which led to a ban from PlayerUnknown himself, who also seemed to do that as a joke. But Disrespect, still in character, then threatened to kick PlayerUnknown in the neck. It was all a bit silly, but it was all also a bit of a drama. However, some people believe that PlayerUnknown was actually doing the right thing and that it set an important example about community etiquette in Battlegrounds. Although some people thought it was a bit hypocritical for a guy who created a battle royale game about fighting to the death to be getting sensitive about violence, but whatever. If your game's community is toxic, then they are creating an image of your game which will be seen from the outside, and it's not a good advert. There are, for example, quite a few people who might be interested in games like Dota and CSGO, but they might be put off by the intimidating communities within those games.
So what is the best way to deal with a toxic community?
My reaction to a lot of stuff is, yeah, f them, but I don't know if that's really going to remedy it, because, you know, then you get situations with like alternate accounts and things like that, and people are like, fine, well, I'll just make another account and jump in and whatever. And I know it's hard to do on consoles because you got to pay for online, but it's something that needs to be thought about creatively, and it sounds like that's what they're doing. And they're setting a lot of different things out here. There's a lot of different avenues for them to go down. I mean, they're relying on the community to police itself, because they're relying on in-game reports, and then even that, they're like working on ways to police that to make sure that that doesn't get abused, so you get like false flags all over the place. It's a complicated mess, but they're clearly trying their best with it.
It's best to like have a system in place where people can get have an opportunity to improve themselves before they get outright banned. It's like outright ban straight away, first offence, seems excessive, and I think, you know, I don't think anybody would think that that was the best way to deal with it. You've got to give people a chance to reform, to grow a bit older, you know, to stop to literally get a bit older.
Age.
But give them a disciplinary structure, like give them a warning and then let them know what will happen if they re-offend. Bit like a good father would do, you know what I mean? Let them know that this behaviour was not what we want from you kids, and that if you do that again, then we might have to take your tablet off you. Something like that, you know? Yeah. Something a bit more reasonable, you know?
I mean, it's not just kids, obviously. I cannot get my head around anyone over the age of like 16, 17 behaving in this way. This is a complicated issue, and it comes down to all that keyboard warrior, internet anonymity thing where they feel safe because they're surrounded, you know, no one knows them there, and everyone else is a bit hostile, so I'll be a bit hostile as well to protect myself. There are countless threads and stuff within the Overwatch forums and stuff where the community is already aware of this themselves. They're already like, why are we so bad? Why are we so toxic? But I believe they can do it. I think they can pull it off. They're really announcing this hard. It's not just like a quiet rollout. They're going for this big style, and I hope they can fix it.
In a gamesindustry.biz article about toxic communities, senior editor Brendan Sinclair called for games developers to follow the example of Player Unknown. Sinclair said, if your players can't be civil, if they can't allow their fellow players a modicum of dignity, if they can't abide by the simplest rules of playing fair and respecting others, remove them from the game. Bad enough to let it happen once, but opting not to excise such tumours from the player base after they've made their malignant nature clear speaks volumes about the company's actual values. Hang on a minute, dude. He's a guy commenting on trolls on the internet, or people who might likely call someone else cancer. What he's doing here is calling the people who might call some other people cancer. Cancer? Surely there's an irony in there somewhere. It's like...
It's a very gamesindustry.biz way of saying it as well. It's a tumour so malignant. That's strong words there, but you kind of see what he's getting at from an industry point of view. Gamesindustry.biz isn't for gamers really, it's for the industry, as you get from the title. So that just gives you an idea of how seriously they take this. That's strong language there from from an editor of gamesindustry.biz to be using. So it's a big issue.
I know what it is. He used to be one of these little 13-year-old trolls, and then he grew up, he got a job,
money out of it.
And now he's calling people cancer, making money out of it. See, you can use your trollishness in ways to make money. Just leave it out of Overwatch. Sinclair argues toxic players should be dealt with in the same way companies deal with botters and hackers, and in no way do they make the community better. It's good to see that some developers at least are actively trying to make the communities better, and this can actually have a positive effect on the game itself.
Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO where the community is regarded as one of the friendliest around, so much so that it's helped the game pick up some strong word of mouth. Sadly, the same can't be said for games like Overwatch, where playing as the wrong character can lead to violent threats against your mother by a small American boy. Let's hope Blizzard's new plans help sort that out.
What is the worst thing that you've ever heard a 13-year-old boy say he's going to do to your mother? Let us know down in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out one of our videos around about here. You can support us on Patreon, and that link right about there. And we'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.